And welcome back to this Trails to Azure Let's Play with me, SLJ RPG. In the last episode, we managed to do some of these side quests they had lingering up. We did this Moon Temple investigation, and in today's episode, we're going to continue with assisting the Republican inspector. So, we need to head towards Crossbell Station for more details. First thing I'm going to do, however, is quickly just heal, get the rest in. Sorry, you might be hearing my dog in the background there. She's decided to start barking, which seems to be an ongoing theme of when I'm recording. But there we go. Right. So, let's make our way to Crossbell Station. We won't do the quick map, the quick move. There is literally no point. But let's go speak to Inspector Officer Miol. Here we go, Crossbell. Probe Inspector sent us the request, right? Here, let's see if we can find him. My assumption would be it is this guy. Street guard. Right, all about an Imperial Chronicle. Here we go. I happen to be the kids. We received a support request and came to inquire for more details. You're the station's Republican inspection officer, right? That I am. My name is Marlowe. I was transferred here from the Republican Army. I had to get started right away. Will you accept my request? Help with the inspections. Allow me to explain what you'll be doing. Rather simple. One task you need to complete. Assisting the inspectors with a train bound for Calvard. You mean like checking passengers' entry papers? The Imperial Inspection Officer had us in the head with that once. So, I think we can manage it. We'll just check to see if there's any suspicious persons or items on board. Precisely. Having an experience will make this thing go by more smoothly. Keep that in mind, the security is currently much stricter across the city due to the trade conference. Not only is our usual inspection process more rigorous, we've also obligated to cooperate with the police department. We simply don't have enough inspectors to handle the increased workload right now. Hence the request, of course. So, that's our train. I'll give you the details more on the platform. Seeing as we didn't get any, timings on the support request, this does feel a little bit, untoward. Take a look at that. What is it? It's a big, old, proper, fancy-ass. The Eisengraph, a train exclusively used by the Imperial government. Its magnificence is a symbol of Empire itself. Of course there is. The bloodline chancellor came in that thing. That cocky bastard sure likes to stand out. It's damn impressive, I'll give you that. I'd hazard a guess that no mirror was spared in building it either. Yes, its impressive extends past its experience. So, I heard it's currently the fastest orbital train in existence. Though I cannot be entirely certain, since the exact specs are not publicly disclosed. It's impressive. I wouldn't expect any less from a nation with as vast railway infrastructure as Erebonia's. In that respect, no nation on the continent rivals them. Of course, much is clear. The Empire is often in a league of its own. Amen. Ahem. Let's explain the request. Let's do it. Didn't mean to get distracted. Please continue. Very well. Like mentioned before, I'd like your assistance inspecting a train. We'll also examine all the passengers' entry applications and luggage. Afterwards, you'll participate in the train's safety inspection. Well, we'll get to it when the time comes. I'll give you a set of instructions to follow for various checks. See, there are a total of 6 of you. Split into 3 pairs, and I want 2 pairs to inspect the cabins and 1 to personally assist me. During the inspection we had earlier this year, we all worked individually. That's right, you've done this before. Typical inspection, 1 would suffice. However, we need to be more thorough right now. Conference calls for stricter inspections, hence why we're working in pairs. Understood. I'll trust you to decide how you'll split into pairs. You can resort to rock, paper, scissors if you feel the need. Great need to put behind those thought behind the teams. Rather, I think the best course of action is to decide teams as quickly as possible. Play simultaneously, 2 people play the same hand, they'll form a pair. Play as person until you set your teams. Okay, so we're doing rock, paper, scissors apparently. Boils down to the difference in countries' cultures. Let's give it a whirl. Sounds good. Play scissors. Me and Norfolk Rock. Makes us a pair. Keep on playing scissors. There we go. We're ready to go. Helping out Inspector. CGF Guardsmen have plenty of experience checking freight trains. There we go, of course. So, we need to figure out what it is that we need to find suspicious individuals. I remember this last time, and it was mainly about stuff like that. Alright, we're in charge of the last 2 cabins. Looks like we have a lot of passengers. Have no choice but to check them individually. We're assistant inspectors, search trouble, entry papers in your luggage. Oh, I hope you're okay. Someone isn't paying attention to the surroundings. Sorry about that. Was spacing out. Go right ahead. It'll only take a moment. He was spaced out. Entry papers and luggage. Interesting. I'm sure there's going to be looks like we've got a live one. So currently spaced out man. So that's why it's acting strangely. However, hope Mara's okay. Sure the ticket's somewhere around here. So do I have to now go forward and circle round? How delightfully stressful, maybe. Some people really are aloof. Interesting. Are they with Hayu? Is there a problem? If we check entry papers and luggage, but of course we don't mind. Make it quick, right. Done here, you can take your leave, right. Don't talk to me without good reason. Interesting, interesting. So. Being such an idiot, okay. I think that's everyone. Okay, some shit's going on. Inspector the officer accused me of stealing. Interesting. He's just a senile old man. There we go. We're not going anywhere if you keep hurling insults at each other. I have a simple question to ask two of you. Or a state known as Luke's and Company. The chief inspector will sort this out. I mean, he was saying he hopes Ma is okay. Thank you for doing what you could in there, everyone. It must be difficult, especially with the argument over the ticket theft. Don't mention it. Any hope in identifying theft? Yes, I believe so. We got information regarding the ticket purchases specifically for instance. If we discover theft during the inspection, we can arrest the culprit at the next station. Good to know. Could be worky, got immediate justice, but things out sooner than later. You should feel okay about the work you did. Thank you again for the help. Likewise, we got some use. That did not feel that long. That certainly didn't feel like it was a big... I don't know, did we do okay? We were just talking to people. Previously we had to tell them about the ticket, but that's fine. Let's report this to the HQ, get our 4. We've been promoted, and a true Gladiator Hater headband, which is actually very good. So now, are we to just go to Orchis Tower? Is that the plan? That was such a small thing. Perhaps it is. We need to... I know that we've got work there. We've got Zeit outside. It is pretty common for him to walk around the city these days. And I'm guessing... Poor Franz looks like he's having a hard time. Certainly does. Okay, that was incredibly slow. But I'm guessing this is where we're meant to be next. Seemed like a bit of a bizarre support request. Of course, when this unveiled, Key recognised its shape for some reason. Could see the cloud clearly from my airship before I landed. It's even grander up close. This is exactly how we felt yesterday. It's only been half a day. It already feels like Crossbell has a new landmark. Yeah, but don't you think it's a little too big? What are they going to use all these floors for? It's not like the old city hall building was too small or something. True, but the tower is going to house several other facilities. In addition to housing the administrations of city and state, floors dedicated to international trade and cultural exchange. The aim was to make it the center of Western Zemuria itself. Dang, talk about shooting for the moon. It makes sense when you think about it. That's why our first major event is this trade conference. More international capital is going to flow into Crossbell. Had any bargaining chip when discussing new trade agreements, right? Yes, from what I've heard. Though it may not be limited to just financial tasks. Talk, sorry. Well, what do you want to do? We're scheduled to meet Dudley on the first floor at noon. We've already done all of the prep work. It was a very slow prep work. We've made our preparations. I want to have a look at this tower. Nerves are starting to get small. It's critical for us to do this. Right, we're scheduled to meet Dudley. Still a little bit of time. Unable to... I'm just going to go check the quartz and then I'll see you guys back here. So, I just went and upgraded a couple of slots. And got a few of upgraded quartz for everyone as well. Thought it should be done. Let's enter the tower. I think we're ready. Open up 2 slots on everyone, so we've got that little EP boost, which is always good. Undeniably impressive. Well, take a look at that. It's a nice blend. It's a nice blend of modern and luxurious. Feels even more futuristic than the IBC. Every floor is wide with the Noble network as well. There's also a direct line to the IBC for instant upgrades on stock prices. I heard about that. Uncle insisted on it. Figures he still has banking on the brain when he's being a statesman. Of course he does. Well, what's left for us is to wait for Dudley to come pick us up. No visitors due to the conference, so why don't we grab the sofa over there? In comes Dudley. Dudley. The same day, 12 PM. Here you are. Hey Dudley, good to see you again. It's noon sharp. Trade conference begins at 1. Dignitaries will be arriving in 30 minutes. Got it. What should we be doing right now? I would have preferred to familiarize you with the venue with myself, but there's a change of plans. Came to tell you that someone else will be showing you around. Someone else? Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming today. Of course. Major Croix? Uncle. It's only been a couple of weeks, Ellie. Lloyd. Well, and hello to you too, Wuzzy and Noel. And it's been far too long since I've seen you, Randy and Tio. Welcome back. Appreciated. Good to see you again. What are you doing here? The conference starts in less than an hour. Aren't there more urgent things you should be doing? Nonsense. Preparations are more or less done. We're simply waiting for the dignitaries to arrive now. I thought I was showing you around the building would make for a good break. Is that alright with you, Dudley? You're lucky he's the mayor. See it that you pay attention and don't do anything to embarrass yourselves in front of him. Once you're done, come to the security command on room 34. Understood. You can take it from here, Mr. Mayor. We'll see you soon. You have my gratitude. He's a talented detective, that one. Though perhaps that's what makes him good at his job. First Division does have a reputation for doing things by the books, after all. Well, where are my manners? I forgot the most important step for starting a tour. Ladies and gentlemen of the SSS, welcome to the Arcist Tower. Follow me if you would. Same as ever. Mirabeau's apple did not fall far from his tree. Maybe, but isn't it nice of him to show us around personally? It is short. Let's take him up on it. We're going to speak to some people. Tad nervous. Please let us know if you need the assistance. We should be fine. Please went this way. Undeniably huge. There are 3 elevators? Now you're just showing off. Of course. Building is 40 stories tall. Just for the record, there are actually 6, if you count the private ones. It's impressive. Keep in mind, we don't have any time today to visit every floor. We'll sadly have to keep things related to the conference. Without further ado, let's start by seeing where the security command room is on the 34th floor, shall we? After you. I'm not sure I trust Data Croy. I see. I heard the same from Dudley. It's quite a tricky situation you found yourselves in. Yeah. The Jaegers and I, of course, are concerned. Whatever the Imperial and Republican governments are up to, it's worth keeping in mind. On top of that, there are terrorists aiming to take the lives of the 2 heads of state, not to mention the mystery hacker from yesterday. They were able to steal the tower's blueprints from one of your terminals. Yes, sadly. Heard it was one of Orca's tower's sub-terminals that was hacked into. After the IBC was hacked months ago, had our systems department boost their anti-hacking countermeasures too. It clearly wasn't enough. Well, when you think about it, hacking is a rare skill to have. Yeah, logically the most explanation was someone who had ties with the Epstein Foundation. Chief Roberts is currently looking into that, though my intuition is telling me that it is not the case this time. No matter, all we can do is wait for the results. Jaeger Corps, a crime syndicate, and the threat of terrorists coming. There's plenty to worry about already. What's most troublesome, however, are the motives of some of our esteemed dignitaries. You mean the leaders are the... You mean some of the leaders that are after from the conference? You're saying suspicious of the people you invited? I don't suspect Princess Claudia or Prince Olivet, mind you. I also trust the Grand Prince of Inferior. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith are other matter entirely. The leaders of the 2 major powers. They have the most to gain by controlling Crossbell's future. Have they tipped their hands on that front already? Quite the opposite, actually. We've already sent several preliminary proposals to each country ahead of the conference. Both sides are suspiciously favorable to everything we've suggested thus far. The way they've been behaving, you would think that those 2 are all for the equitable growth in Western Zemuria. That seems unlikely, to say the least. The Empire and the Republic tend to clash over even the smallest of issues. Correct. How they're acting right now makes me more uncertain about what could happen at the conference. I've already prepped for the worst-case scenario. That seems wise. So, on top of all the immediate danger, we're stuck in a political trap, too. Times like this are when I'm glad to have Speaker McDowell to lean on. If we play our cards right, we could also have the support of Liberal and Remferia during these negotiations. And I'm not just preparing for the worst. They'll be praying that Adios is in our corner, too. Uncle, it's hard to believe you have even more on your plate today than I realized. Sorry to take up your time. Don't mention it. On the contrary, I'm relishing the opportunity for a nice change of pace. That's why I insisted to be the one to show all of you round. Well, when you put it that way, It would be our honour, Mr. Mayor. Heck, we're down if you are. It's what I like to hear. Good timing. Here we are. So give me Shinra Tower vibes. 34, event staff floor. Whoa. Amazing. The view probably is fucking ridiculous. Wow, look at that. Side of the tower. Here we are. Whoa, it is quite the view. Get a load of it. I'm glad you find it all as satisfying as I do. It's the 35th floor. We have so much as staff, we're on standby during the trade conference. Are you ready to have a look around? Lead the way, Mayor. How cool these guys are. It's good. I mean, the character building in these games are fucking ridiculous. Anyway, here we are at the security room. Next door is the press. There'll be a company of guardsmen from the CGF on the floor below, if you need them in case of emergency. Yeah, I've heard they'll be here. I bet they're gonna send the best CGF has to offer. Well, I guess the press room is where Reis will be spending all of our time. You mean the reporter from Crossbell Times? That's right, I believe I saw her name on the list, so she should be there. Bear in mind, the press aren't permitted to leave this floor except during the press conference or scheduled interviews. That makes sense. It's necessary. Reporters can occasionally get a little pushy for interviews during events like this. Some even slip past security. Grace does that regardless of how big the event is. Very true. Very true, Chair. I can already picture us dragging her away from somewhere she's not supposed to be. Indeed. I'll show you this room just in case. The bar. This is more my kind of place. Looks like a break room, but it's so spacious. Precisely, the break room I had prepared for the conference. Feel free to use it during the downtime. Thanks, we'll be sure to. We could always stop by for tea later. Let's head to the next floor, shall we? Of course. I mean, it's fucking massive, this thing. Is this an emergency stairwell? Looks like the ones going down are sealed off though. Normally, you'd be able to descend all the way to the first floor using these stairs. We have a cinema in preparation for the conference. Only the stairs between 34, 35, and 36 will be open. In other words, it's a security measure. What to do if something like an earthquake occurs? If in an emergency, the gates to the stairwell will automatically open. Which goes to show that no security plan is foolproof. Now, not when we have to account for the unexpected. Trust, we'll do our part to cover any possible gaps. Hacking countermeasures must also figure into that. Since we're here, why don't we take the stairs? Next stop, 35th floor, home to the International Conference Room. My. I'm guessing we're going to be running up and down these a fair amount. Because, of course, some shit's going to go down. International Conference Floor. As we see the respective flags of the different empires. Look there. This place would be... That's right. Before you is the stage where the continent's leaders will speak the elusive dream that is diplomacy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the conference room. Usually you would have more than that. I mean, it's undeniably a pretty cool one. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like that. If this room's ceiling is that high, you must have removed the part of the next floor. As it so happens, the 36th floor was designed to be U-shaped to accommodate the conference room. The rooms next door to the conference room will house staff of all the dignitaries. Personal security detail will also be on standby there. That's smart. Had to stick them somewhere to appease all your guests. Let's move to the final floor of the tour, shall we? The dignitary floor. This is going to be incredibly good rooms. Have the rooms prepared for the dignitaries that will be participating in the conference. Now I'm going to show you around. After you. Interesting. So, whose room is this? Whoa, check out this place. Talk about extravagant. If you gave me this room like this, I don't think I'd ever want to leave it. This is the one will be Princess Olivert's waiting room. There are rooms in the West Wing, as well as one assigned for each visiting participant. They double as places you can go cool your heads if things get too heated during the conference. That makes sense. Are these rooms connected to the Arbol security system? That's right. We had them inconspicuously wide to the security network. Let's put the other rooms aside for now, because there's one final place I'd like to show you. Good morning, Maycroy. Good to see you again, sir. At ease, gentlemen. From these windows, you'll be able to get a full view of the conference as it's in progress. There are curtains to make things private should the confidential meeting happen, but they'll be open this time. Good to know. We better get a sneak peek as to how the conference is going while doing our rounds. That's right. If anything were going to happen, we'll see it and could rush there right away. Good point. We should make this part of the routine on our patrol then. Well then, you've seen all those reports that will be part of your security detail. However, if you allow me, there's one more place I've been saving for last. A place? And that could be? Isn't it obvious? The spot with the best view out of all. Of course, the top of the fucking tower. It'll be so fucking windy up here though. Let's make that clear. Whoa, look at that, it's incredible. Oh, you just know some big ass boss fight's gonna happen on that helicopter platform. You just know it. The Arcel. It's breathtaking. Positively. The rest of the city looks like tiny from this far up. Dang, I wish this shindig was after dark, but the views at night are insane. This lair will eventually become a viewing platform for the public. Couldn't restrict the roof to only the government officials in good faith. I'm sure people will love it. I can't wait to take care here too. Oh, pardon me. It's me. Of course, got it. I'll be right there. Well, I see word from the dignitaries have arrived. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, I have to take my leave. Not at all, thank you for showing us around. We appreciate it. Oh boy, did we, that was awesome. Tour of a lifetime. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, as well for giving me a change of pace I needed. I'll see you all later. Good luck with your security duties, and give it all you got. We won't let you down. It's the least I could do, pay back for the letter of recommendation. Adios be with you. I'll be praying for the success of the conference. So will I. You sneaky little fucker. I don't trust him. Anyway, alright, let's make our way back to where Dudley is. Should be in security room on the 34th floor by now. The real work begins. Hope this goes smoothly. I hope so too. Indeed. Trails to Azure. Every time. The same day, 1 PM. We now commence the main section of the Western Zemurian Trade Conference. Wow, wow, wow. As we can see, Mr. Grimwood in the background. We have Rocksmith, the Prince of Inferior, Aris MacLean, Stata Croy, Speaker MacDowell. If I may be so bold, Henry McQuell, will proceed to begin our proceeding. The conference is scheduled to run for approximately 5 hours with an intermission. However, depending on how deliberations are progressing, there may be short extensions. But now to introduce you to two observers that will be joining us for the conference. Lawyer Ian Grimwood, legal expert who is active not only in Crossbell, but in neighbouring countries as well. And accredited he attended today's conference due to his familiarity with common and international law. It's a pleasure to be here. Everyone, I'm Ian Grimwood at your service. I can't remember what his voice was. So, this must be Crossbell's famous Grizzly Grim. Yes, I've heard. Yes, I have heard of you as well. I don't know what to do. They say they're primarily concerned with matters surrounding civil rights. Nice to meet you. You flatter me. I propose I give you all my very best today. Yes. Next, Brysa Arias MacLean. You may know his name from his outstanding achievements in our neighboring countries. I requested he to attend as a neutral observer of the Bracer Guild to further ensure everyone's safety here today. That is correct. I'm Marios McLean. Pleasure to meet you.
So this is the Divine Blade of the Wind. Speaker assumes right, I've heard your name spoken many times in the Republic.
Your name reaches the Imperial capital as well. They say there's a divine blade bringing justice in Crossbell like a wind sweeping across the land. I'm honored. Without further ado, we'll begin by going over each opponent on today's docket. Mayor Data Cross, this is our first opponent. Please outline your proposal. Of course. I, Data Croy, the best man in Crossbell. Let's start by looking over the first bill and the materials provided to you. Erebonian gets 2 representatives, which I find interesting. It started. Yeah, I knew Eris was going to be there, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood was going to play a role too.
The Grizzly Grim moniker is known outside of Crossbell, so it makes sense. Keep in mind that international agreements are reached at conferences like this. It's not necessary to have someone on hand with expertise. It's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in international and common law. Oh, I get it. So they brought in Grizzly Grim for the legal advice and things like that.
It's nice that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head. It's not as though the place to be concerned with actual discussions are during the conference. Focus on what matters the most, making sure today passes without incident.
Understood. Should we begin as planned?
Yes. Patrol floors 34, 35, and 36. Everyone on these floors should know who you are and why you're there. I advise you take your time to speak with members of the media or the staff dignitaries. Got it. In that case, I'll be heading back to the 34th floor. May Dios protect you. Call me if anything happens.
Dudley
is pretty steely, but even he's on edge today.
I noticed too. It's hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we experienced last night. I agree. We're going to need to be hyper-vigilant on these patrols.
Bingo!
What do you say, Rita? Ready to get the show on the road?
I am. So Dolly's invite and chat up all the ancillary staff while we do our rounds. Okay. You do need to be more alert while you're on duty. Feel free to enter. We're going to enter everywhere. Give them the cleanest room possible. So, you want to, of course, check everyone's room. Prince Olivert. I think where the fuck it is Beulah. Okay.
Man, get a load of this view. Ain't it something? It's SSS.
Lecter,
what are you doing here?
I mean, what are you talking about? I'm part of His Excellency's Chancellor staff, right? Nothing unusual about me chillaxing here. It's been a few weeks, guys and gals. We really gotta stop meeting like this.
Even on a day like this, you look like you don't have a care in the world. That makes me think he's hiding something.
Come on, little lady. I'm all hiding under all this charm. Is even more charm than I know what to do with. Those look on your faces tell me you guys have a bunch of questions you'd like to ask.
Yeah, we've heard a thing or two in the past 24 hours. Specifically about the Imperial government's actions, or lack thereof, regarding the trade conference.
Alrighty then, I'm not sure exactly what you've heard, but hey, riddle me this. Do you figure out I'm working with the noble faction to take Gilead Osman's life?
What? Excuse me? Consider the source, guys, don't listen to him.
I ain't falling for this one again, pal.
Forgive, fool me once, shame on you.
Dang it, don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't bad. I was hoping I'd get more than half of you.
You got me, but I don't suppose we have to worry about that one coming true, do we?
Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or aim is. From where I stand, you're the type of person who takes responsibility and knows how to get the job done. With that in mind, The most logical thing to do would be to cooperate with us today, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So that's your play. I'm just fooling around about what I said. Can you imagine something like that actually happening? You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times, or remain vigilant. That's the key to a good writer finding inspiration, you know. None of us are trying to become authors. I've seen Broken Rifle shoot straighter than this guy does. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz.
Real helpful, thanks.
Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking.
I feel like I understand him even less than I did before this conversation.
Yeah, he's an interesting one here, of course. Hey, I can see a Morocco village in distance. Man, look at those bees go, carrying honey, buzzing all around the place. Get real, there's no way you can see that from here. He might be able to, we don't know. He might be hyper vigilant with his eyes, but there we go. These are all blocked. I am not going to go that way. We are going to take the stairs at points, I believe. But we should check out all these rooms first as well. Want to check out everyone. Refairs. I'm preparing the records to be played for him. Do we trust the plants, guys? Do we trust the plants?
Scree!
Princess Claudia, last time we met. This is the White Falcon, Scree. What's the little guy saying? Can you trust White Falcon?
Hello, nice to meet you. So, he remembers that you weren't with us last time, good boy. I always remember the faces of Princess Claudia's friends.
Thanks, Siege.
Scree.
Interesting. So this must be his room. Do we trust the plants? All the record players, to be honest. Some problem with the tea cakes. These are Mishy's tea cakes. Just checking out all the rooms. So that is to be someone's room. So, speak to all the dignitaries. Security should not be an issue. Let's head down. Remferia is kind of the typical one. So these are Republic special support sections. Of course, we know this next player right here.
Well, look who it is. It's been a while, SSS. How's your patrols going?
Kilika.
Where are my manners? The last time we met, circumstances were different. Allow me to introduce myself again. Kilika at your service, aide to the President of the Calvard Republic. I have other responsibilities and titles, of course, but there's no need to speak of them right now.
No, of course not.
What happened to being an entertainment producer? Just one of the many tasks I have put on for my line of work. There is in fact an office for the agency back in the Republic.
In other words, you weren't technically lying.
She's a woman who can be whatever she wants to be. How fitting for a spy.
I know. I wouldn't give to roleplay with her just for one night.
You're talking about a spy from one of the major powers, for everybody else's sake, Randy. Care to share with the class? Oh, this reminds me. I was told you were invited aboard the Arcel yesterday. I beg your pardon? I'm not surprised you already know.
Jeez, talk about having good sources.
Settle down, there isn't anything to fret over. I am curious though, did you hear anything of note?
We did, but it was only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to discover for ourselves.
Is that so? The same could be said of myself. What? I was merely thinking out loud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like. That doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. There are conflicting motives, and much we still don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the first domino falls, or will it be later? At this point, who's to say?
I think I understand what you're getting at, but still.
I guess she's right on the money. The only thing I'll add up is that my vote today is simply to watch over the President and protect him. In any sense, we may as well have colleagues for now. Why don't we just put aside allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds? Beyond that, I make no further comments to make at this time.
Fair enough, thanks for the information. She is a weird one. Interesting. What would Zin think? Let's believe for the end of the room. Are we gonna... Ah, of course. Speak to everyone. Interesting.
Good afternoon, everyone. If it is in the special support section, so you're busy securing the conference for everyone.
That's right. Next up is our rounds. Major incident. Interesting. Let's speak to Mr. Mulavander. Everything has been civil. I'm impressed with how smooth things are going. Conference went this well. At least it'll achieve some stress on the prince's shoulders. Interesting. These are all very interesting people. Wait. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to go to the 34th floor. Good to see you. Ain't Lloyd and the crew, Secretary performance, main event, Crossbell's leadership representative of all four conferences in Bonanza. Is Richard going to be here? And must the main event without a prime venue, August Tower, contest first huge skyscraper. Can you feel it? The excitement in the room? Ah! I'm excited about the heart step out of my chest. She is always like this. Pretty darn excited to write up a storm of articles about today, but enough about that. Something I want to introduce you. Meet Notisha. This is the special support section. Liberal news. I was thinking we might get our old friends from Trails. Happy to be of service. Large publication, Liberal. The False Prize. Award for the most outstanding journalist on the continent each year, one the same. Niall Barnes and Dorothy Hyatt, of course. Niall's our ace reporter and Dorothy is a brilliant camerawoman. Right, again, technically the coverage of everything that led up to the incident factored into the decision. They sound impressive. Yeah, I guess so. We're not going to let them outshine us though. It's every reporter's dream to win the False Prize at least once in their career. You want to win the next one? You got to be the best scoop you can get every day. Including today. Your outfit reigns. We've got to do out and not let anyone here outdo us. Yes, ma'am. Let's hope she can behave ourselves. Interesting, interesting. Conference, 2 countries. It's the first time they're ever meeting face to face. That is rather interesting, actually. Interesting. Please feel free to enter and confirm the identities. Interesting, interesting. Anything amiss? Not yet. Advanced security system on the continent. Of course it does. I've never seen this one in Power Plays where. You're not doing it justice. I never thought I'd see something so high-tech. Been surprised to see them eventually. Used to the survey areas outside the city. CGF days could be numbered, no. I wouldn't say that, but it's simple. How widespread they become will depend on the public's acceptance. Yes, I agree. For now, the view of them is more welcome. With it, we may be out to potential terrorists before it happens. Let's keep our eyes sharp and not overlook the smallest details. We've not found anything to secure us. No sign. It's too optimistic to say they've abandoned their plans. I would agree. Is this the CGF? Good to see you, Captain Grant. Hey, Grant, working hard. Hello, Major Seeker. Orlando. Though I suppose neither of you is taking part of the CGF. So, CGF on this floor. Restricted by state law, but the organisation carries military. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit lot to have the military. Upgrades a point of contention. If they were out in the open during the conference, CGF would rather avoid that. Out of sight, out of mind. Diplomacy sure can be a tricky issue. Roger, we will. Okay. Oh, Pierre is muttering to himself. Can I have some of these lunchboxes? Can I have some of these lunchboxes? Are you Mr. Pierre? I can't believe she's sure of it this time. Sure of what's he? Excuse me, Vice Commissioner Pierre. What? Special spot. No joy. What do you want? What are you doing here, Vice Commissioner? Dear, don't be so. It's my job as head of security planning. If you say so. Oh yes, I remember me that in materials we were given. I do not read those, hence my confusion. You what? Here we go. I should probably mention that sooner to you. Whoops. If you're head of security planning, why are you in this room instead of the command room? Taking a little break? Please, I had it done to full command were on site. There's no reason to be in command room. I'll only be getting in their way. So think whatever you like. As your superior, I know what's best for the operation. You 6 focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. Why, my wife would be... He is whipped every single time. Interesting. Who is his wife? Who is his wife? Alright, one patrol down. Nothing to report. So, let's make our way in the loop. Agreed. Hope the conference room is going smoothly. A bit nervous. I know the mayor and speaker are doing their best in there. It's a tough room. They do present the biggest challenge. Same day, 3:05. Conference has reached its halfway point. Before the intermission began, the heads of state gave a brief press conference for the media. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who started his break ahead of the others. So, it explains it. Things are being precarious as they are. The SSS Ernst deal assists with security detail. Exactly. I'm not sure how much difference we really make in the grand scheme, though. We may only be an additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted my assassination attempt on our previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. It's kind of you to say. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. How's the conference going? Things appear to be going smoothly. Fair to say, so far so good. Participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Qua's efforts are truly beginning to pay off. Thank goodness. That puts us my mind at ease. You said it's been good so far. Do you think we'll get rocky in the second half? Oh, is there something you're concerned about? Maybe out of mean to say as an observer, not a participant. The purpose of the first half was to focus on the economic proposals that affect things such as trade and finance. However, the second half will be proposals from each country's head of state. Each nation's agenda will come into play. It's undoubtedly when the topic of crossbell security will be addressed. That would mean talking about crossbell state security means foreign military forces going to enter the equation. Non-aggression pact was only signed 2 years ago. Can we really do that? It's true that Liberal's Queen has pushed the pact into reality 2 years ago with crossbell's best interests at mind. Nonetheless, two participating nations today technically did not sign the pact. We're inferior and, well, crossbell itself. The foregone conclusion that the new continental security framework will be discussed. Grandfather expects that too, and is equally concerned. Would the simplest solution not to be write a similar pact and have crossbell sign it as well? Has to be. They sign a new framework like the non-aggression pact prohibits military force between all nations. Oh, I get it. Crossbell technically isn't a nation. Empire Republic only recognized crossbell as an autonomous state. It's as you say, Crossbell lacks the sovereignty to enter international treaty. Economic deals alone are not the grounds for the state to enter in such agreements. Despite Crossbell's security becoming focused at the trade conference, it's a precarious issue for Crossbell's leaders. I started getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry.
There's something I would like to ask. Crossbell is not the only autonomous state in the continent. There's Lemon, Oret, Northumbria. Are those states barred from entering into the international treaties?
No, they're not. It's true each state has its own set of historical circumstances as to why they've remained states and not formed nations. However, each of them have been recognized by major powers as an independent state with sovereignty similar to their own.
So they're sovereign states. Exactly, they're treated very differently than Crossbell, primarily because the sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Atria.
Of course.
That would be... Ah, the high seat in the Septine Church. That holy city? Yes, as a city-state, Atria's territory is small. But the church holds religious authority on the continent. Several autonomous states, free cities, have been established because of the church's support.
Then you have it. Crossbell. With those autonomy was gifted to it by Erebonia and Calvard.
That's how we're in the unique position of having two Caesarian states above us.
My voice is gone all over the shop. And that historically has led to Crossbell being dragged into conflicts after time. If Crossbell had a modicum of sovereignty, the situation would improve. But if consent from both nations is what it will take for that to become a reality, then it will never happen.
I would not disagree. When you put it that way, it does seem bleak. Getting back to the topic at hand, I would expect the chancellors
and the president to have their own security proposals. Naturally, each of the country's terms of proposal will be vastly different. The speaker and mayor will have to be careful of that, of course. Apologies, my young friends. Didn't mean to put even more on your plates. Remember that Speaker Medal is used to these kind of things. I sense Mayor Quo will still have some cards to play himself.
Cards to play, as a plan?
What could you be referring to? I don't know particulars myself, or if it could... Sorry, I should take this. Lloyd Bannings.
Bannings, こちらは記者会見が終わった。首脳たちは36階に引き上げたが、
Got it. We're in the break room. Anything else we should know? We're contacted by both Chancellor Hartmann and President Rocksmith. Each requests to speak with the SSS during the intermission. Here we go. Given who they are, I hope you understand we're in no position to turn them down. The SS division each leaves room during the break, and that's final. President's room is the first one on the west wing, Chancellor's is the first one on the east. Excellent opportunity to learn the motives of each side. Of course it is. Rely on MacDowell if things get difficult. She's the best suited for handling these situations. Report to me once you're finished. Understood.
What was that about, Lloyd?
Chat's all over the place. What the hell going on, bud? Brace yourselves.
Excuse me? No fooling. None. Detective, this does not appear to be a joke.
Well, certainly is a surprise. Special Support Station is name more well known than I thought. I didn't know about that. I suspect it's because we're familiar with a couple of people from each of their staff. That could explain why the Chancellor and President have taken an interest in us. You might be onto something there. Regardless of the reason, there's no getting around our hands being tied. I know. Let's head up to the furthest rooms on the east and west wings of the 36th floor. Get this over with. We need to see them right away. Roger. My voice has gone all over, so I think this is probably a good place to say, if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time on Trails to Azure. Peace.